yeah, baby. Get them victory flags out. Wave it like a samurai sword. Do whatever you want with it. Put it out, baby. That's right. Lions coming off another dub that makes 4 straight, and not just any ordinary 4 straight. That's 4 straight, 14 points or more. We've beaten each team. So, Lions, boys are buzzing. Nick, what is going on, my guy? It's been a minute. We didn't do a show last week. It was just a little tough. Everyone was quite busy. The Lions just blew out the Panthers. I mean, we all kind of were thinking the same thing. We're all going to say the same stuff. You know, this team proved it. They can beat the bad teams, and that's what we needed to do. Just kind of take out the garbage. And that's exactly what we did with the Panthers. And you get a little bit tougher opponent in the Bucs, and you handle them perfectly. So, Nick, real quick, give us a little recap of the Panthers, and then how you doing, my man?
I appreciate it. All right. So the Panthers game was outstanding, right? Ass whoopings, what y'all wanted to see. That's my recap. This weekend, had to go see a little Taylor Swift action. Shout out T Swift. Not as cool as who we reported Sam Laporta dating or Eminem being at our games. 15-time Grammy as opposed to 12. I'm just saying. But shout out T Swift. Put a movie out for my daughter to see, and she loved it, so I have to appreciate that. Then I went on a 15-mile hike in Ann Arbor, represent the shirt you're wearing, and that rained all Saturday during the first 9 miles of the hike. So it was fun, it was brutal, it was chilly, it was with the boys, all 6 of us, backpacking, eating dehydrated meals, making a campfire in the rain, real Boy Scouty stuff. It was really fun. Came home Sunday just in time to catch the Detroit Lions game, and what a great game it was. So yes, we missed all of our fans by not doing a show, but we are making up for it by doing a show today and hopefully one Sunday before the game. So you get a double-decker this week of us.
Oh, yes. A little double dip action. Nick, yeah, right when you said, you're like, yeah, I went to hike in Ann Arbor on Saturday. I was like, Michigan game was pretty rainy on Saturday.
It was very rainy. It was nonstop rain from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening. And that is exactly how long our hike was, from 10 in the morning till like 4 in the afternoon. And we got to our campsite with an hour left of the rain, and we couldn't wait. We were freezing. We did not prepare correctly. I did not have my frog togs on for all the hikers out there. I didn't have a poncho. I was underdressed, freezing cold. So we got the fire gripped immediately, even with the rain. And it was still so much fun. We stayed up all night next to the campfire, bullshitting with like a bunch, like we used to when we were in college, kind of situation. So,
love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So the Lions did
wait, I'm so sorry. And shout out my mother-in-law for getting me this sweet ass shirt, Detroit Lions, custom made Faber. We love it. I appreciate it. I said I would wear it on this podcast, and I will not let you down. Shout out Deanna. I love you.
Very, very cool. Indeed. So we had a little bit of news break just probably an hour before this show, and it's Dave Montgomery update. It's a little bit worse than what we were expecting. His x-rays came back negative, but he's dealing with a bit of a cartilage issue, per Dan Campbell, that will keep him out a little bit. And by little bit, here's what I'm thinking. We play the Ravens, then we play the Raiders, then we go on bye. I'm pretty confident he's going to miss these 2 weeks. Don't think Dan Campbell wants to put him on IR, because if he puts him on IR, that tells me, I should say we should hope he doesn't get put on IR, because if he gets put on IR, that tells me Dan Campbell doesn't think he's going to be ready in 4 weeks. It needs at least 5 with that bye week. So it would be a lot worse than what it is, or what he kind of said. So I think 2 with the bye week rest should be enough, but you never know. He did also say Jahmyr Gibbs is seeming a little bit healthier and seeming that he'll be practicing this week and hopefully will be good to go Sunday. And if that's the case, we are going to need him.
Yes, Dave Montgomery is obviously a focal point of our offense, as we've come to realize. But we can succeed without him. We've done it a couple times now. It did open the door for someone else specifically to make a real big case for why he is our running back 3 right now. There is light at the end of the tunnel for Gibbs to play this week. So there's a lot of factors where, like, back in the day, it's like if Calvin Johnson sat out a game, you'd be like, Well, we can chalk this one up as a loss and we'll move on. But our team is so deep and so or how do I word this? Put together so roundly, like so perfectly that having Montgomery miss a couple weeks is tough. It is tough. Don't get me wrong. He is our bell cow, but we can survive it. Even against the Ravens, even against if it is the Chargers, even if it is against the Raiders, it doesn't matter. I feel super confident with or without Montgomery, just a lot more confident with Montgomery. So this is brutal news. I'm glad we got it before we did our podcast. Normally they like to break this stuff after we do our podcast, so at least we get to talk about it, which is very fun. But as soon as he went down, I felt like our offense, and our Bucs defense is really good, but our offense wasn't moving at the pace that we're used to with Montgomery on the field. Craig Reynolds did do a lot of good things, but he just didn't run the ball as effectively as you would hope, or as Montgomery would have guaranteed, or even maybe Gibbs. So Montgomery, this is tough. It's really tough for my fantasy team. I drafted him in every single
I
league.
know you're telling me, Nick. You're telling me. Got him in a few leagues as well. So tough sledding. But honestly, Craig Reynolds, he's out there in pretty much everyone's waiver wire. Could be a very, very sneaky ad because we see what they're doing with Jahmyr Gibbs. If Montgomery's out, I don't expect him to get 25 touches. I expect the same, maybe a little more uptick, but I don't expect him to be just here you go, unleash him, unless we were, down 3/4 or half the game, or just not playing good and we need something else. But I think if Craig Reynolds is playing just decent, then that should be enough. And it's interesting because we got some other Devane Azingbo. So you never know what that guy could be. It does stink. Bam Knight, also, if you guys are wondering why we haven't mentioned him, he is out for the season. That shoulder injury he sustained, I think, 2 weeks ago, or I believe it was in the Panthers game. Towards the end, it knocked him out for the year. So that's a bummer because he was looking like a solid RB3. But Craig Reynolds, man, he's going to have to step it up. He did in not so much the rushing way, but that's what I like about Craig, because he's not always going to be giving you the best out of the passing or the receiving, the rushing, the blocking. He's going to give you maybe 2/3 of that, and that's all we need. As long as he can give us a good block, a good rush, that's it, or a good reception and a good block. So ultimately, I think Craig Reynolds can get the job done. Campbell did also say that he does feel better about Brian Branch playing. I hope he gets back. We're facing Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. He's definitely going to need to be there to slow down Mark Andrews. The Ravens didn't look super efficient against the Titans, but I definitely think we'll have our hands full. So
And just
other
to
than
note,
that,
I did just want to note too, real quick, on Jahmyr Gibbs, and if Montgomery is out. Last time Montgomery didn't play, Jahmyr Gibbs did have 17 carries for 80 yards, with 2 targets as well. So as much as Craig Reynolds might be a good sneaky pickup for your fantasy team, especially in deeper leagues, I fully 100% agree with Adam. If you have Jahmyr Gibbs and he's playing, you fire him up, because I am expecting 15 to 20 carries for Jahmyr Gibbs. I do think he takes over the David Montgomery role, and I think we learned with Craig Reynolds that he's not as good of a runner as we want him to. Hell of a blocker, can make good plays. Like you said, good pass catcher. Like, he does everything. He's a great running back 3. But I bet Jahmyr Gibbs takes the boatload of the carries, as he did in week 4 against Atlanta when Montgomery was out.
wouldn't shock me either, too, because, obviously the Atlanta game, it went well. So why not, let Jahmyr Gibbs try to handle a solid workload and let Craig Reynolds get, 5-6 carries, but that's all he needs. So let's talk the Bucs game. The Lions, we came out storming. We had the first tipped interception. Will Harris looking good. Jerry Jacobs almost got another interception too, which would have been huge. Ultimately, I'm going to talk about the defensive line first. This defensive line, oh my goodness, you can't run on them. Like, you simply can't. And I'm going to be very, very interested to see how Lamar Jackson, probably the most mobile quarterback in the NFL by far, how he'll fare against this unstoppable run defense, because it's different with a quarterback. I feel like he has a little bit more of broken play / ability to find the seam when it's not directed a run play, when it's, pass play broken down, he just scrambles. So it'll be interesting to see if the Lions D line can still keep that contained. And if they do, oh my goodness, this team will just take another step. And it does feel like these last couple weeks, the Panthers, they were, a bad team that we just need to beat the hell out of. We did it. The Bucs were a solid team that we need to beat the hell out of, and we did it. So now we're playing a good team that we don't need to beat the hell out of them. We just got to beat them. So if we can just get the job done with our defensive line, Bugs was playing phenomenal. He's just, I don't even know how this guy wasn't playing the first couple of weeks, because just whatever spark has ignited him. Aquara has been playing phenomenal too ever since he's come back, had a sack and a nice tipped pass. And then I guess it's not defensive line, but I can't help myself. Anzalone, man, I just props off to you, dude. The fact that this guy was playing so well these first few weeks, granted, maybe weeks 1 to 2, he didn't realize the situation, but weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5, he was playing with his parents trapped in Israel, and he did not know if he would ever see his parents again. That's how scary of a situation it was. So I can't imagine the stress and pressure he just had every single night, thinking about his family, talking to his other loved ones and what was going on. Parents are back home safe, so it's all good now. And what does he do? He performs with 7 solo tackles, 2 pass deflections, and a tackle for loss. So just still playing with a phenomenal motor, but just have to get credit to this defensive line and some of these linebackers.
Yeah, the front 7 has been unbelievable, and we've said, and it's so nice to see what we've said.
Exactly, too. Nick, you asked real quick, you called this, or like put this tweet out like maybe it was like week 13 or 14 or something. It was the Packers game or something. And then you just noted all the solid running backs that just busted. And granted, there were a few that, weren't good running backs that still didn't play well. People were like, oh no, they haven't played anyone. And sure enough, Bijan Robinson, Miles Sanders, Rashad, everyone. It's just everyone. Good, bad, anyone, you're getting under, 60 yards.
It always feels so good when you say something and you see it just like really come to fruition. Like you're like, I'm seeing this with my eyes. I'm telling you, our run defense is absurd right now. And then 17 weeks later, we're here at this moment where we have, going into this game, we had allowed the least amount of rushing yards through 5 weeks since 1939 in NFL. Like that's not just Detroit Lions, that's NFL. Like absurd. And then we go into this game, and Rashad White can run the football. And Tampa Bay, everyone said Tampa Bay's offensive line,
solid tackle.
They're great offensive line, top 5 in the league. Nothing. Rashad White had nothing. Keyshawn Vaughn had nothing. And no, maybe those aren't Emmitt Smiths and Marshall Falks, but it's who we play, and who we play can't run the ball against us. If you are a smart person, for the first 6 weeks, you'd have taken the under on every single running back we have played, and you have cashed out 6 straight times. That is including Rashad White's 45 yards last week or yesterday.
26.
That's ridiculous. So who we play? Justice Hill. Who we got next week? Baltimore, right?
So it's interesting. Here's how I look at it. The Ravens are on. I heard the stat the other day, and it was like 22, or it was the longest streak in the NFL of 100 yards rushing per game. Counts Lamar too, and that's why they've been hitting it. So I will be very curious to see if the Lions could snap this streak. And if they do, oh baby, because it wouldn't shock me if Lamar gets 50, Gus gets 20, and then Justice Hill gets 30. And that's how they get 100, 101 on the dot, And even if that does happen, I'll take that as a little, moral victory, because the Ravens, they care about their records. They say they don't, but John Harbaugh, he has in the back of his mind. So he's just going to be like, well, let's just run the ball. We keep getting our 100 yards. That's how we've been winning. And when it doesn't work, he's going to keep trying to do it. And before you know it, it's going to be too late for him to realize, crap, my running backs have 13 carries for 27 yards. We should probably pass the ball a little more.
Yep, and that's how it's been going. And then not only that, but we get big leads. That didn't happen Sunday, but we get big leads, and it takes the teams away from their idea of the run game. With Tampa, we didn't come onto a big lead, and yet we still held their run game to abysmal. They were amazing, the front 7 for the Detroit Lions defense. Kudos to Aiden Hutchinson, who didn't record a sack today, but played outside of his mind. Kudos to Julian Okwara, like you said. Kudos to every single person. Aleem McNeil and Isaiah Bugs were dominant in the middle, forcing Baker out, forcing bad throws, getting hands on balls, tip balls. So yeah, I will, and then I will transition this, Adam. Let's continue to talk about our defense. And from the front seven, let's go to our secondary, where, as you said, Will Harris with the pick, even though he looked atrocious in this game, and God, he should not be on our team, but whatever, he got the pick, and I'll take it and went away. Jerry Jacobs looked unbelievably amazing, as per usual. I'm sticking up for that guy everywhere I get. Seatbelt gang, almost had a pick, shoving a shoulder into someone, had it, couldn't pull it in. It's okay. Cam Sutton, as we here at this show, were the first ones to solidify him as Sutton Island, and now everyone's running away with it, and that's fine. Please take our words, but just know we came up with that shit, and that's because just like last year when our run defense was stopping everyone, and I said it, Cam Sutton is a freaking island. Receivers don't want to visit. Cam Sutton is on an island that receivers don't want to visit, but some are forced to go there, and Cam Sutton shuts them down. And it is great. Cam Sutton had an amazing play on Mike Evans. Had just one of the games of his life, in my opinion. And every single week he's having the game of his life. He is stacking it and stacking it. Cam Sutton, best free agent signing we had this year. Over CJ, over David Montgomery, over Graham Glasgow, over whoever and anyone, Jalen Reeves-Maymon. It doesn't matter who you bring up. That includes David Montgomery. Cam Sutton is our best free agent signing. And outside of it, I would say number two. It's tough. Him and Anzalone are the number two defensive players on our team, hands down. Him, Anzalone, and Aiden are top three players on our defense, no doubt about it.
And honestly, man, we had pretty much everyone just thinking Hutch was going to be like the guy. Well, Hutch was the guy, and then Anzalone just out of nowhere took the next leap, and then we bring in Cam Sutton, who's just been a lockdown cornerback. And the reason why you might have not heard Cam Sutton or any big plays is because exactly what you're saying, Nick. No one's throwing to him. He's getting like this, not exactly what happened with Richard Sherman, because obviously Sherman was kind of a different beast, but still Sutton is playing up there. And he is causing quarterbacks to think, that guy is really good at cornerback. I'm going to maybe look him off or just go to, that'll be my second read. And we saw it. We've seen it every game, honestly. There hasn't been too many monster plays. Granted, Baker did miss a few, deep bomb throws, but I'm not exactly sure if Sutton was on any of those guys, which
also people, and I heard that, and people need to realize it's not Baker Mayfield missing. That is our defensive line putting pressure on Baker, right, forcing a bad throw. And it was the same with Desmond Ridder, and it was the same with Jordan Love, and it was the same with Bryce Young. These guys aren't just bad quarterbacks that were playing. Baker Mayfield was 3-1, right? And held with Philly for a little bit. We have the best defense in the NFL and are forcing these atrocious throws. So I just want to clarify.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right, Nick. And honestly, John Jansen, he said it perfectly on 97.1 this morning. He said it sometimes you just, with your defensive line and blitzes, you just realize you're going to give up. The dude's going to be wide open. But if you can affect that quarterback or get to him or put pressure on him, make him overthrow it, underthrow a bad pass, arm hit, whatever, then that's all you got to do. And it's incomplete pass or maybe a turnover. And that's what the Lions were doing a lot. And there's no difference between a Lions defender 2 yards behind the Bucs behind Mike Evans or a Bears 2 yards defender behind the Bucs behind Mike Evans. Baker Mayfield made the throw against the Bears. He didn't against the Lions. And that was because of the pass rush. He had a second more to just, oh, there we go. But now against the Lions, it was like, oh, crap. Let me get that out of there. And once you feel those hits a couple times, man, he knew it was coming. And honestly, he only took one sack. And that does tell me that he was trying to get it out quick. And he knew we had the dogs coming at him.
However, he also had escapability. We saw that. He got out of the pocket quite a bit. Now, he didn't do much when he got out of the pocket, but what is that? Who are we about to play, Adam?
Lamar Jackson.
Who gets out of the pocket really fast? Lamar Jackson. So that was one thing. As we closed in on him, we only got one sack because he had escapability, and we were there, but we weren't able to contain him. Okay? And we've kind of had a problem with this. Now, on quarterbacks that don't really have escapability and want to try to play the pocket game against us, we've done damn well against. And we've done damn well against the guys who got outside the pocket. We just haven't got the sacks. It is a little nerve-wracking for Lamar Jackson. We are going to have to scheme it differently. Dan Campbell's kind of been notorious for, or maybe not just Dan Campbell, excuse me, Aaron Glenn has been notorious for allowing running quarterbacks to kind of get the best of us. That was while we were in a rebuild mode. So who knows now? But just that is to go back to what we were talking about. I know we're talking about the Tampa game. I don't want to get too into Baltimore. Just something to keep your eye on when it comes to Baltimore, because Baker did have that escapability. We saw it. We saw that happen.
And I do think we will see some more Hutch kind of standing up, playing contain, just kind of holding this guy. I'll take that back. I don't think Hutch gets a true sack. How I think he'll get his sack is Lamar Jackson is going to fall right into his arms. Lamar Jackson will get ready to scramble, think he's got a hole, and boom, Hutch will just pop out right there and just grab him right at the line of scrimmage.
And people will say that's lucky, but the thing is that's not lucky. That's called doing your homework and knowing the best odds to put yourself at a best position. Look at the guy who's caught like 400 home runs at baseball games. He knows where everyone hits, and he just walks to where is the best odds to catch a ball. He isn't just lucky 400 times, right? And Hutchinson wouldn't just be lucky to fall into that sack. He would be in the right place at the right time, and that's where Lamar Jackson will just fall right into him. And that is not lucky to anyone who is thinking, oh, just a lucky sack or 5.5, blah, blah, blah. No, that is preparation, NFL IQ, game script. So game film, I mean. So I would love Aiden Hutchinson.
And then another thing I noticed about the Lions secondary, we had 9. That was weird. We had 9 pass deflections.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Mm-hmm. And that means 9 of those balls were all broken up. So it wasn't just Baker overthrowing guys. We were making plays too. So Lions.
However, what are your thoughts on Kirby?
He didn't have his best game. He had 2 pass deflections. I did see he was a little like, I don't know if you saw the Jeff Darlington video, but he was like with trainers at the end, and it seemed like, I don't know, it was just something. And he was kind of walking slow with trainers, and hopefully he's not injured. Dan Campbell didn't really say anything about it, so I think he should be fine, but we'll know when this practice report comes out tomorrow. But I'm not Kirby's best game. Perhaps this is more of Kirby not playing the full game, so he's not getting his big play moments, and it's just, because he's a boomer bust type guy, and Tracy Walker has just been way more consistent, and when Kirby's been in, it's just been not as consistent.
Can we talk about that Tracy Walker hit?
That was so sick, dude.
Best hit I've ever seen.
Thank you, refs, for not calling that a flag. That was clean as day, shoulder in the pads.
Mm-hmm.
I get it was a hard hit. I get it scares you. You're like, oh, throw the flag. But they talked together and they're like, okay, 2 years ago, we throw this puppy, but these are different lines. So what do you say we pick it up? And they picked it up.
Tracy Walker did. What a hit. What a hit. That was the best hit on defense, but not the best hit of the day. We talked a lot about defense. Let's switch this to our
That's right. Gosh, you're right.
offense. Switch it to the offense, Adam.
Yeah, what?
I said, let's switch it to the offense. Let's stop talking about defense, dude. Ain't nobody wants to talk about defense.
Okay, well, real quick. So this was kind of weird. Have you ever, like, someone says one thing and you, like, hear it the complete, like, different thing, but it makes sense, like, from what you were hearing? So I'll tell you what I say. I thought you said hit or something hit. You're like, that wasn't the only hit by Tracy Walker. And I was like, you're right. Jack Campbell did destroy a dude, too.
Jack Campbell did destroy a dude.
He did, yes. That was very cool. Campbell, it is what it is. He's not contributing like insanely, but part of that I do believe is just Anzalone and Derek Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
Like when these guys are playing so good, you're not forcing your rookie out there.
Right.
And real quick side tangent, and I think it's the exact same thing with Jahmyr Gibbs. I do think the Lions had a plan to use Jahmyr Gibbs week 1. Send him out. This guy is going to be a superstar. And I do think Jack Campbell was supposed to be our day 1 starter. We had 3 guys take leaps that no one expected. And now we're at a position of where we just keep winning and winning and winning. And it's like, should we change something or should we just keep rolling this ball? And I think that's what the Lions are doing. They just aren't going to change or aren't going to fix anything or mess with anything until it goes wrong. And that's why you're probably not seeing tons of usage of Gibbs when Montgomery's in. Now, if Montgomery's out, it might change. But the same thing with Campbell. Campbell is playing a little bit more, but it's not like he's getting crazy with it. So, and then cherry on top, we don't even really need them. Granted, it would be nice to have guys that are contributing to the max, but those guys are going to contribute next year when we probably will need them. So right now, I love it. We're 5-1. Cannot complain.
Nope. Sorry to all the draft day viewers who wanted to see us draft immediate starters. Unfortunately, that is not how the Lions work, and we have built this team successfully, and we do not need those 2 first-round starters to be automatic, instant impact players. We can sit Campbell and let him learn from Anzalone and see where that deal goes. We can let Gibbs learn from Montgomery, and it is the running back position. And we all know what happens at running back position: injuries. So we did not need either of them to start day one. And I'm sorry for all the people who are like, draft value. We got a 5th-year option on both of these guys for the team. This is called figuring out how to spend your money wisely and win games. We knew what we had in-house. We knew what we needed to add it externally. We did it. And I love seeing fantasy people get extremely upset about Jahmyr Gibbs. It is great.
100%. All right, let's spin this to the offense because obviously there was a lot of great plays. One right behind you, Nick. And let's talk with the man himself. J-Mo, he is here. He's arrived. What a perfect first touchdown. Was his first catch, but it just gives you reassurance. It wasn't just a wide open walk into the end zone type touchdown. This was impressive. He was tracking this ball a little underthrown, had to turn around, completely flipped his shoulders, found the ball again, was falling down, defender on him, caught it with contact, still maintained it, and it was a touchdown. And then afterwards, Nick, I don't know if you saw the video of the video now, but it was J-Mo watching himself catch the pass. And it was awesome because you can just, he's like, that's my dog. Or he said something about Jared Goff, and you could tell his confidence is just through the roof right now. And that's exactly what we needed. We needed to just give him a little crumb, a little taste of what this Lions team is like, because I guarantee you, he's seeing Amon-Ra, he's seen Laporta, he's seen Montgomery, all these guys just balling out, scoring touchdowns, having fun. And he wants to be a part of it. And those first 4 weeks killed him sitting out, and now he's back 2 weeks earlier and has a touchdown, which I love so much. Shouldn't even happen, but thanks to Roger Goodell, he does get to play these last 2 games. And honestly, he's starting to make us forget about these drops, which I will say, you can't forget them. And, you know, there's something to keep an eye on. But if he's making plays like this, it's all right.
There's a lot to unravel with Jameson Williams. We see this catch, and we forget about the play right before it, which was a very bad drop by Jameson Williams. It was a short throw from Goff, and it went right through the hands of Jameson Williams. Not tipped his fingers, not barely hit one hand. It was through both hands. That was a drop. That was a bad throw, and it was a bad drop, both. Josh Reynolds, there was a bad throw to Josh Reynolds earlier in the game. Dude made an unbelievable catch. Yeah, unbelievable. Exactly. Beautiful. Same one I'm referring to.
You're right. Josh Reynolds would have caught that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things right now. Jameson Williams, we as fans need to understand this Jameson Williams guy is target number 4 or 5. That's just how it is. Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell do not trust him right now. You can earn trust. That's what you do in life. You earn people's trust. Right now, they do not trust him. Nor should we. He hasn't done much to show us that he can be trusted. He has caught a couple great deep passes. He's a body catcher. He does not catch with his hands. He catches with his body. Sometimes that'll be great. Sometimes that'll hurt us. He's electric, though, and he stretches the field. He needs to be on the field. And with more catches like this one that behind me, Goff will start to trust him more and maybe move up wide receiver, or target number 5 to target number 4, from target number 4 to target number 3, being the third option for Goff, second option for Goff. He will earn that. Right now, he has not. We need to stop thinking he will be Amon-Ra St. Brown and get 12 receptions a game. He will be Mike Williams for the first 3 years of his career, which is 3 to 4 targets a game, 1 to 2, maybe 3 catches a game. That's what he is. And that's okay because our offense is so fucking good that Jameson Williams doesn't need to be who he isn't. Right now, just be behind Amon St. Brown, behind Sam Laporta, behind Josh Reynolds, behind David Montgomery, behind Jahmyr Gibbs. That's fine. As your target, your option number 6 is Jameson Williams. Other teams are looking at, like, the Chiefs are looking at option number 6 as, like, I don't know, Kadarius Toney probably, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, what, they don't know what they're doing over there, right? So this is fine. This is fine. Jameson Williams had a hell of a catch. That catch did not change my opinion at all. It did not change my opinion because of the drop that was before it. Jameson Williams needs to go through a game. He needs to have like double the amount of catches as drops in a game. That just needs to happen. And I just don't think that's happened yet. So I love JMO.
Well, Nick, you had 2 catches, 1 drop.
And he had how many? 2 catches, right? Oh, so that is double. Okay. So triple the amount of catches over drops, I guess is what I mean to say. Regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't drop a freaking ball, and I'll be very happy. But it's nice to have him back. This is what
agree.
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be dogging on him. I'm trying to tell fans that we need to temper these expectations now, and we need to trust him as much as Ben Johnson trusts him. So look how many times Ben Johnson dials up a play for Jameson Williams. Yesterday was 3, and that's about how much times how much we need to trust him, which is about 3 plays a game, which is like what Jamal Agnew used to get for us. You know what I mean? Like, you hope he catches a big one. That's about it right now, and he can earn our trust. He can earn our trust, much like we earn the trust of people. You can do that. It's okay. It's okay not to be Kelvin Johnson right now. It's okay to be that. We don't need him. Just like Jack Campbell, just like Jahmyr Gibbs, we have a good enough team. We don't need James Williams. He is just an extremely awesome luxury to have, and we will continue to use him to stretch the field to give Amon St. Brown 12 targets. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
See, and also the interesting thing I'm kind of starting to think about is 2 years ago when we drafted this guy, we had Josh Reynolds, but it was like early Josh Reynolds. So we didn't realize we were getting a like legit, number 2. Yeah, dog. And I think Campbell, it was like, you know what? Let's try to make JMO the number 2. Well, then all of a sudden, Reynolds turns into, takes another step. And then we get Laporta, the best freaking young tight end in the NFL, honestly, because there's only 2 tight ends I'd take rest of the season. It's maybe Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. And even then, you could debate Kelce too. And if you're talking, 2 years, I'm taking Sam Laporta 10 times out of 10 over both of those guys. So that was my side tangent. But yes, JMO. Right now, he's a luxury, and he has to earn that chemistry, which that was a perfect chemistry earner, because wasn't Goff's best ball. He knew JMO messed up the play before, it went back to him, because if you would have dropped that would have been like, oh God, oh no. But he caught it. So it's like, all right, it's there. We know it's there.
Goff knows it's there. That's more important.
We need to see it more consistently. And I don't think we're going to see it right away. I think we are eventually by playoffs or, week 15, 16, we're going to see JMO getting 6-ish targets if he keeps this trajectory going, where a big play and gets the drops down. Obviously, 1 a game is not good. And anytime it hits your hands, you got to catch it. Doesn't matter where the ball is. If it hits your hands, your NFL wide receiver got to be catch. So there's that. And then I also think JMO, I feel like every time he catches the ball, he's like, I got to turn and run the end zone. I'm going to break one off. Just catch the ball, find your lane, and then go.
That was Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Each time he just catches, and he seems like he keeps going. And the first one with the defender, you knew he felt it. But if that's Tyler Lockett, he's an awesome veteran. He catches that and falls right down. And as a receiver, you gotta know where you are and know what kind of catch you gotta make. And if you are wide, or a guy's coming down your back and you need to do the catch and turn and spin, cycle him out of there, then do it. But ultimately, I like what we've seen so far with JMO.
Me too, but there was one more little nitpick. The first catch he had, he caught we needed 10 yards for a first down. He caught it 9-yard line, and could have easily just fell for the first down. Instead, turns back to try to get more yards and ends up getting just like a total of 7 yards on the catch or whatever it was. And JMO, we don't need the biggest play every single time you catch the ball. Just catch that ball and get a first down. Be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Go catch 200 balls after practice. Have that motivation. Be motivated by the boys that you're in a locker room with, and catch the ball. Have high NFL IQ. Like, we're learning. It's early in his career, but now we know. You catch that ball next time, you don't try to make a huge play out of it. Thank God Amon-Ra St. Brown tried to make a big play out of his, though, when he caught it, because it turned out great.
Yes. Let's talk about that play, because that was the play of the game. Honestly, JMO catch was awesome, but oh my gosh, this was so sick. Did you see, like, someone posted a picture of it, and it's like Amon-Ra scored a touchdown on this play, and he's on like the 23-yard line, angling backwards to like the 24-25-yard line. Probably only has is on the right side of the hashes, heading towards out of bounds, and there's 3 defenders stared him down. And then all of a sudden, he kind of gets around, and who else but freaking Craig Reynolds out of nowhere lays the boom clean hit to, wasn't one of those, crack back, stupid, weird blocks that they love to flag. It was just a beautiful textbook block that coaches in high school will be putting on for their, not students, I guess got students, players for years to come. But Craig Reynolds, that's what we need. That block created a touchdown, because Amon-Ra goes out or he gets tackled if that block doesn't happen, and that's what we need to see. Just have A+ at one of the 3 phases: blocking, rushing, or receiving.
And if you didn't see the video of Amon-Ra St. Brown watching the video of himself, Inception style, he breaks it down like an analyst, and it was outstanding. Calls out Craig Reynolds. The defenders was like running at ASB, looked over, saw Craig Reynolds, and goes, ah!
Yeah, he
braced his hands out because he was like, I'm about to die. My head might be decapitated after this hit. So I'm going to try to embrace this. And Craig Reynolds just blows him up, comes out of nowhere. Watching the film, watching it live and seeing these replays, it is just like ASB dancing around, as Adam alluded to and said, running around, and then out of nowhere comes, it's like back in the day in like 2000, the XFL, maybe they still do it now when they rebooted, but the XFL, you could like run 10 yards back and then run up to the line, and right as you're running to the line, hike, and you're going, and you already got this speed momentum. That's what it was like. It was like this guy came running like 40 yards from away, and it wasn't, but it was like he came running 40 yards away, right into your screen, boom, lays him out. ASB goes running. We all saw it. Everyone who's watching could see it. Even if you were just eyes on the ball, glued, you saw it in the corner of your eye. Craig Reynolds just blown up. Best hit of the day, beating out Tracy Walker's hit. This was so fun. I don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs lays that hit. I don't know if David Montgomery lays that block.
Montgomery, maybe because he's a bigger dude, and
maybe. Who knows? That was the awareness, though. They all have the potential to be able to hit that. The awareness of Craig Reynolds, his NFL IQ, his IQ of our team, and the way ASB was running, all of it was perfect. This is the team we built. This is why we kept Craig Reynolds around. I loved it, dude. It was electrifying. And that touchdown was our 7-3 lead, right?
Yeah, that was first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, or 10-3.
And also cashed a $17,000 first touchdown parlay for some dude. And Amon-Ra was the last leg for him, so he got it for the guy. And then Amon-Ra, Bleacher Report, posted it, and he's like, hey, let me hold some of that.
Speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, his podcast tomorrow will have Jameson Williams.
That's right. Yes, that's right. That should be very cool. I'll definitely have to tune in on that. And then also, it's interesting because from a third string running back, you're going to see plays like that where they give it just everything they have, try to find any way possible to make an impact on that play. not just that drive sequence, whatever, just every single play. They're trying to do something. And honestly, when you have starters and you have guys that know they're worth millions of dollars, know they, would love to go make a big hit, but it's like, man, that I could get a concussion and that cost me a game check. I could get, break my shoulder or something, and I'm not going through that again. So I get it. And with Craig Reynolds, we're not going to see any type of beat around the bush. It's going to be smash mouth football, and I'm excited to see it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Finally, we had our MVP, Jared Goff, the birthday boy, absolutely torching the Bucs on the road. This dude completely is shattering the narrative of not looking good on the road, can't play in cold weather. Granted, it was Tampa Bay, but it was, a cold-ish Tampa Bay. It was, nice Tampa, warm, sunny like it always is. And Goff, man, 30 for 40, threw the ball 44 times, 30, 44, phenomenal. 2 touchdowns and 353. Passer rating of 107, QBR 78.6. Dude was phenomenal. And this is just off the backs of a great game against the Panthers, a beatdown in Lambeau, a great win in Arrowhead. Jared Goff is truly playing at an MVP level, because if you put Teddy Bridgewater on this team, that's a good question, Nick. If we had Teddy Bridgewater start the season, how many wins do you think we have? I would say 2, maybe 3.
I'm trying to think.
I think our defense would be able to help.
It would have been a loss to Kansas City, would have been a loss to Seattle, would have been a win in Atlanta, would have been a win in Green Bay, would have been a win in Carolina, and this one's 50-50. I'll give it a win. I would say 4-2. But easily could be 3-3. I think our team, that's honestly to a great point. Jared Goff is fucking awesome, and there's a reason why we're 5-1. Don't get me wrong, but I think our team is good enough where if we had the last pick in the draft, whoever the last quarterback was drafted this year, right? In regards to like a Brock Purdy, whoever the last quarterback drafted this year was, Stetson Bennett, whoever it may have been, I bet they would be like 3-3 with us. That's how good our team is. Honestly.
Interesting. Justin Fields, 3-3.
Yeah, I do think so.
That's all right. I like that. Yeah, but
honestly, Jared isn't the worst quarterback in the NFL. It's just he's on the worst franchise in the NFL, and he doesn't know how to throw a football. So I mean, that's never great. But
well, actually, Justin Fields has dislocated finger now. So.
But now he's just yeah. We're about to see who's the backup, Tyson Baggett or something like that.
Yeah, Tyson. Like I don't know. I've never even heard of this guy.
I heard some big reports about
O'Connell versus like Tyson Badgett or whatever his name is.
Badgett or something. I heard of a lot of reports coming into the season that there were rumors, hush hush, in the office in Chicago's that they wanted this kid to start over Justin Fields. They just couldn't do it because Fields' popularity. And
I did hear that too. And real side note.
We're side tangenting all day on this show.
If this dude wins like 2 games while Fields is out, and they're just like, "What the hell did we do?"
That would be fun.
Or even honestly,
they like trade Fields for like a first round pick. That would really suck. I don't think you would generate that. But, oh God.
But I don't. Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus. I think we're all right. So yeah, back to Jared Goff. He has been wheeling and dealing, and then it's not just his box scores. If you were watching this game, Goff was absolutely firing the ball. He was putting it in between 2 defenders pretty much every other pass. Every pass he was throwing was on the money, splitting defenders, perfect spots. He just looked on. And I do think this is just part of the team being so well, the chemistry, everything's flowing. He's got another phenomenal pass catcher at Sam Laporta. He doesn't have to, rely on J-Mo to be his number 2. Josh Reynolds is step up. Cliff Raymond's balling out. I guess Marvin Jones is kind of Marvin Jonesing. But ultimately, he's just got phenomenal weapons. And it's just like his Super Bowl run with the Rams. He had Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and there was one more decent dude on there. And then Todd Gurley. So it was like great weapons all around. I believe he had Higbee too, which is, nothing compared to Laporta, but a solid tight end. So Goff, I also do think he has moved up to, I want to say it was 7th or 8th in MVP voting, plus 1,900. still outrageously behind Brock Purdy, who somehow is still plus 1,000, who does not deserve to be up there. But Jared Goff, man, this dude, it's still early, but like he legit could win the MVP if the Lions just keep doing what they're doing. And, if we play how we have been, Jared Goff will win the MVP. And it sounds crazy to say because Lions fans hope for this. We're like, yeah, Jared Goff, MVP. But now that it's like a possibility in actual reality, it's like, I want this. This can happen, baby. Bring it on home.
Bring it on home to me. That's a Led Zeppelin song right there. Great reference. They just had a Led Zeppelin tribute band at Motor City last night. I did not go to it, but I wanted to. Tampa Bay defense had allowed 4 passing touchdowns through the first 5 weeks of the NFL. How many touchdowns did Jared Goff throw? 2. Damn near half of it, damn near all of it. Jared Goff played against a defense that had allowed 972 passing yards through the first 5 weeks. That is the 3rd least in the NFL. He threw for 353, the most any quarterback has thrown against the Bucs in the last 16 games. Jared Goff played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have picked it off 6 times this year, tied for the 5th most in the NFL. Jared Goff was coming off of 3 straight games with an interception after having a damn near record-breaking 383 passes without a pick. He starts the streak again, no picks. Tampa Bay's defense is no joke, is what I'm trying to get towards. Their defense is what's holding them in these games. Their defense was no match for our man, Jared Goff. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and 7 other people who wanted to catch the ball. That's right, Jared Goff got it to 10 different pass catchers, including Brock Wright, including did Ozigbo catch a ball? I know he ran a ball. I don't think he caught a ball, but we had a ton of players catch the ball.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had 1 catch.
Did. Oh, I thought so. Okay, so from anywhere from Brock Wright to Divine Ozigbo, I think is what his name is. I could be wrong.
10 guys caught balls.
10 balls, 10 catches, 10 different guys. That he had 9 the week before. That is 19. That's different players. I guess not different, but in each game, that's 9, that's 10. We are spreading the ball around. This is glorious. This is not just feed the ball to 1 or 2 players. This is everyone get their opportunity, and everyone who got their opportunity was successful. It was outstanding. Jared Goff is the NFL MVP as long as Miami decides to forget how to play offense, because right now ain't nobody going to beat Tua, in my opinion. He is just going to win MVP. He's going to have the stats behind it, and his team's going to have the wins behind it. But to really think about what these teams are, Dolphins were in the playoffs last year starting Skylar Thompson. We were 9-8, not in the playoffs. It was just a little bit more of a deficit for the Lions than the Dolphins, in my opinion. Jared Goff is the MVP. The only person you could argue with me is Cam Sutton. He's the only other person that should be MVP. He honestly should be MVP, getting MVP votes. That's how good he's
Love it. All right, Nick. We're going to start doing a little segment called Game Balls. I'm sure all those that segments popular on a lot of your podcasts that you guys watch, but we're going to give a game ball to a Lions player each week. Can be Jared Goff. It can't be Jared Goff. You never know. But ultimately, I'll kick it off first. We had a lot of guys that could have got a game ball. I really want to give it to Craig Reynolds for that block, but I'm going to give it to Amon-Ra St. Brown for giving Craig Reynolds the opportunity to make that block, because if Amon-Ra just goes down, that nothing happens there, and we're at the 20-yard line. But Amon-Ra is like, oh, no. I see a path to the end zone. I'm getting in the end zone. And that's exactly what he did. So Amon-Ra, I damn near predicted this. I called 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, placed the bet, told all my buddies, and he got close. 124 yards and 1 touchdown. But I'll take it. Amon-Ra, he's getting my game ball today. He played a phenomenal game, and coming off an injury just showed that, boom, didn't lose a step at all.
it stinks because what I want to do is be super original, right? And you'll see moving forward in our game ball picks, I will try to very much be as original and kind of be out on left field about who I really think deserves the MVP. It, and I wanted to do that this week, but then Dan Campbell made it less of me being unique because he also awarded this man one of his game balls. It is not Jared Goff, though. I'm going to do my best not to pick Jared Goff on any of these because it should be Jared Goff. 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's great, but I'm going to do my best not to pick Jared Goff. I'm just never, ever, ever unless he like blows up. So I'm picking the best punter in the NFL, and I'm taking Jack Fox with his punts. The way we held field position in a game where we needed to hold field position, in a game where we realized that Riley Patterson can't hit 50-yarders, which we knew, but we now are really realizing it. We needed to be able to punt the ball, and Jack Fox made some of the most amazing punts, one of them specifically right at the 1-yard line. It was glorious, but the best punt I have seen Jack Fox do. Dan Campbell even acknowledged it, giving him one of 2 game balls, and I will do the same. And I will try not to pick one that Dan Campbell picks moving forward, but I just couldn't pick anyone else this time. Dan Campbell had it right. Jack Fox gets my game ball this week.
I agree as well. Right when I was watching that video and he called, it was weird how he was talking. I was like, he's going to give it to Jack Fox. Because granted, he wasn't on the field every single play. He was probably only on the field for 10 plays, not even like 5 plays, but every single time he was out there, he made it to count. Mm-hmm. And the Lions did something I haven't seen the Lions do yet. And it seemed like a new Dan Campbell cooking type element where we took a 4-minute drive from our 20 or whatever, slowly worked up, got to, the 40, 45, could have kicked, the 55-yard or whatever, but instead we put the Bucs in checkmate, punted the ball. Campbell trusted Jack Fox to put it down inside the 5. He did that, and we milked the clock, and then the Bucs were down 2 scores with like 6 minutes left. So it was pretty much good luck, have fun. Your offense hasn't done shit. Have fun at the 2-yard line. Jack Fox, he's been balling though. Also, another guy that I do want to just shout out who is coming down to Anzalone. We were talking about him a lot as well. I think on the defensive side, game ball would go to him, but obviously you can only do 1 game ball, so it's got to go to Amon-Ra. But on the defensive side, Anzalone has been flying around, and he's just been doing exactly what he needs to do and more.
Maybe that's what we should do is an offense and a defensive game ball, and I'll keep track of them right here. So you're going Alex Anzalone for defensive game ball?
Think so, yeah.
All right. I have been talking about him a lot. Cam Sutton. I'm going to avoid him right now just because he didn't do exactly. I'm going to go just because he's too much of a name, I guess is what I meant to say. I was kind of thinking of what I was about to say and then just rambled off. Cam Sutton has been too good. I'm not going to pick him right now. I'm picking the guy that you shouted out earlier in the show, Julian Okwara, with a huge big paw deflection. The only sack for the Lions team. Really has been on the chopping block with this team. We had a lot of excitement after Romeo Okwara's big year, and then we went and drafted Julian in the 3rd round, and we were really excited to see him flourish with the Lions, and we've yet to see it. Number 99, big 99, coming through. I'm going with Julian Okwara as my defensive game ball.
I love it. All right. So we go Okwara, Anzalone, Fox, and Amon-Ra. And also, we'll get Julius this game ball. We'll tweet out a little type game ball tweet or something in case you guys were curious to see if we keep track of those. But all in all, if you guys want to check us out individually, check Nick out at Nick Faber NFL. Then check out myself at Everyday FFB. Check out the show, Honolulu Blues _ on Twitter. Got all sorts of good stuff going on. We will likely do some sort of giveaway. We just gave away a Honolulu Blues t-shirt too.
Yes,
so for winner, I think Lexi was her name or something. But anyways, we will be giving away stuff and doing some other little contests as well. So keep an eye out for our pinned tweets. check us out on YouTube or Spotify. We love all that good stuff. And as always, go
Go